Now, you're a young couple in your 30s looking for your first matrimonial home. You don't know much about the property market, looking to purchase a first home, but not sure where to start and what options to consider. Is this you? Watch on.
So the big question is this: how busy professionals and homeowners like us make six-figure profits from the property we own safely by doing it with research, data, and numbers. How do we buy in a way without complications and half-guessing, regardless of the market conditions, and still remain profitable? That is the question. Here, I will share with you exactly what we do and how we do it. My name is Edmund Tan, and welcome to Singapore Real Estate Insider.
You could have seen articles like this, and I even did a video on why the younger gen prefers to rent. You can find it somewhere around and you can watch that later. While this article highlights that more are looking at renting routes, there are also those who started as young in their 30s nowadays too. And today we are going to be looking into how we guided one of the couples in their 30s for their first purchase with the REI method back in first quarter of 2024. We're going to break this video into three parts. First, what we went through with the couple during our one-on-one consult in depth so they can gain clarity, and number two, the level of understanding and education we got them up to date and be informed of the current market, and number three, lastly, using research, data and numbers to access and make logical decisions. Hey, this is Coach Edmund Tan, your Singapore Real Estate Insider. But before we get started, remember to click the bell icon and hit the subscribe button. We provide weekly content to fill in your knowledge gaps about properties and to keep you informed about the most recent market trends. Like every first-time buyer, you're heading into the unknown. Yes, you could have your parents to guide you and even provide you some assistance in your down payment to kickstart your journey. And no matter how much you read online or go through so many different YouTube videos, you're kind of lost on how to implement it in the real world. Partly why consumers reach out to us to help is so that we can guide them in a step-by-step format to achieve their objective. You can see the multiple Google reviews online to have a take on how we can also help you. Hear directly from others instead. So you are in for a treat as we bring you insights about what actually went through a consultation with us all the way to their decision making using a case study. I'll break down the details of the real estate industry and provide useful advice and techniques to assist you in making wise choices. I'll go over all you need to know to successfully navigate in today's market. Now, let's take a look at how the REI method assisted A and B, a young couple in their 30s, with their property purchase. A disclaimer here, it does not mean what you are watching here is going to fit you as well, because there are so many components in any property decision making, and I'm sure you will learn lots from this video before you make any decision. We like to spend a lot of time with anyone prior to making any decisions. What I realized after consulting hundreds of families and individuals is that although many want to look into property, many are unfamiliar with it and they have little knowledge about what they actually can do or get out from their property plan. Thus, we will spend an awful amount of time just to understand A and B, to bounce off concepts and ideas of what potentially can be in the future. Now, what we gotten out from our conversation and discussions are as follows. They are looking for somewhere central but not in town. As long traveling to town is easy, they can be accepted. Number two, the timeline is hoping to get the property within the next 6 to 1 year, and the only research they did was just browsing listings online. Number three, although they are open to HDB, they actually prefer private property more. Number four, they did not consider the BTO route due to the income ceiling cap. Number five, they did not consider new launches due to the long waiting time. Lastly, they are also looking to purchase something that they can stay with good capital retention and capital appreciation if possible. This is also a time where we share various perspectives of how property can be done besides what they already know too. My job is to let you gain new directions and if those could be more suitable in your own property plans. Now, there's a saying, you don't know what you don't know, right? So if you have not been exposed to other concepts in property, how will you know if they are not for you? If you are new to this channel, hit the subscribe button now so you can get real-time updates and learn how to make wise investments for yourself and your family through properties. This is the stage usually I would advise anyone to be a little bit more open-minded, to listen in and explore together. Adopting review in the REI method, you will gain clarity for yourself too. It's not cast in stone anyway. No harm to cast a wider net to see what other opportunities there could be for you as well. Not forgetting, we also run through an in-depth financial calculations based on two scenarios: purchasing jointly versus under one name, because they are not sure what kind of benefits or risks they want to be in each scenario. Will you in today's market situation consider owning one or two properties immediately? Share with me your thoughts about this. There's no right or wrong answers. One key aspect to take note and not fall into the mistake is, though it could be sexy to own two properties immediately, it largely still depends on four factors, and only if these four factors pass my stringent assessment that we will move forward with two property purchases immediately. The last point is the most important and many miss that out. Number one, your loan assessment. Number two, down payment amount. Number three, mortgage payment. And number four, safety net or backup funds. Here is a breakdown of numbers if you were to consider a 2 million property. So here you can see an example of a 2 million resale property situation, and with a property price of 2 million, the 5% and exercise fee will come to about $100,000. Whereas your 20% balance, which can be used for both CPF and cash, works out to about $400,000, including your stamp duty, legal fees, as well as any ABSD. So your total, in terms of your upfront cost, for a $2 million property will be about $572,600. Now, with your total cash that we calculated, meaning $169,600, and the total CPF that you're going to use is about $403,000. So based on your scenario of $2 million, that you're able to loan the 75%, which works out to $1.5 million. With an interest rate of an average 3% today and a tenure of 30 years, your monthly mortgage will work out to about $6,324, including the estimated maintenance fee about $350, which means your overall upfront in terms of monthly commitment will be about $6,674. Is this a figure that is too high for you if you're purchasing a $2 million property? What if there is a way that we can lower down this $6,674 downward to a much more lower amount? Would it help in your monthly mortgage? If you are keen to find out more, reach out to us and I'll be glad to share with you how we can do this. It was also vital that before narrowing down our selection of properties, especially for first-time homeowners, we like to go over the essentials. Don't you agree? Even if I were to guide you on which property after our research in data and numbers to buy when you meet me for the first time, you'll take my suggestions and purchase it without questions? Unlikely. And that will never happen, no matter how you trust me, my data, or even my research. So in order for you to level your knowledge and understanding about the market, we will go through the second stage in the REI method. We got A and B to be familiarized with the going-ons in the current market and potentially what will the climate be for the next 6 months to 1 year based on research we have compiled through various resources and access. They include the following. Number one, general overall market movement. Number two, pricing across different regions. Number three, comparisons between different property types and trends. And lastly, current macro factors that impact Singapore market. This evaluation stage in the REI method will guide A and B to be more informed and clearer from a research perspective too. Like what you're watching so far? How about giving us some likes and love so we can continue this journey of empowering more others like you with families like yours to learn about property and bridge the knowledge gap. It's also from the learning and building up A and B knowledge that they understand more about their direction and how they should navigate for their purchase. So from all we were discussing, we came down to a couple of key criteria. Number one, it has to be in rest of central region. Number two, it's either a 2 or 3 bedrooms and ideally close to the MRT by foot. And with a budget of approximately 1.7 to 1.8 million, they also require the place to be ready as soon as possible. As we went through our research, we started our concentration on units for resale or even sub-sale units based on the criteria. And we shortlisted 3 areas. For those who are not familiar, let me give you a run through. District 12 and 13 in Boon Keng and Potong Pasir area. Being a semi-new township, the area has been bustling with new residentials and commercials like Woodleigh Mall in the area. With $1 million HDB coming up in that area, this area will be very similar to Tiong Bahru in the near future. Not forgetting new condo developments came into the market recently, like the Trevor, Park Colonia, as well as Woodley residences. It is a very centralized located neighborhood that is well connected to the northeast line. The second option, District 14, basically Aljunied and Paya Lebar. Though considered a matured area, properties in this area generally have been performing very well in terms of growth and value retention. With a couple of new boys in the market, it spells fresh rejuvenation into the area. Properties like Penrose and Park Esta. Paya Lebar is thriving in particular because of the Paya Lebar quarter, which has developed it into a significant center for business and leisure. And the last location we're going to focus on is District 20 in Bishan. It is one of Singapore's best residential neighborhoods and is well known for its greenery and family-friendly atmosphere. Ever popular because of the school effects there. Though we are not seeing much activity in the past year for new property, the one property that outperforms every other development is Jadescape. Part of what we do to help many like A and B is to narrow down your scope of search with very specific data points to guide us. Stay on the video as I will show you next the Tech 2 assets that will potentially save you so much time and effort making the right decision. Why not subscribe to the channel now? Give it a thumbs up at the same time. It will help us a lot. Let's say you are like A and B. Which will you prefer? To purchase a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom? How do you make such a decision? What is your preferred choice? State in the comment below. Yes, we can all highlight both the 2 and the 3 bedrooms have their pros and cons. Like if I want to start a family soon, a 3-bedroom will surface, but it also means there is a higher capital outlay and monthly mortgage to take note of. Or if I choose a 2-bedroom right now, it could be very comfortable with the financials, but in due time, will the space be enough? Decisions. Property purchase ultimately is still a very personal, emotional journey, and my role is while you're looking in that aspect, I have to show you the other perspective of things. So which type of unit will have a better protection in terms of value or the higher growth when in comparison? Will you think that this additional equation is important in your decision making? Let me show you. So what we will do here is we will basically start a new trend, and because we are choosing between the different districts, we are able to specifically pull out the different districts to make a more detailed comparison. So in this case, we are choosing District 12, 13, 14 as well as District 20. And what we are trying to achieve is to see whether a 2-bedroom is going to be performing better than a 3-bedroom or vice versa. So in terms of our property type, we're only choosing between apartment and condo to make it relevant. And the sale type, because we are removing all new sales that A and B will not want to wait for the property, and that's the reason why we are only choosing resale and sub-sale properties. And for this example, we're going to choose a 2-bedroom units to have a detailed comparison to see what happens. So let us take a look at what the trend is showing. And here you'll be able to pull out a lot of the details about the 2-bedroom units in those 4 districts. And with our comparison today, we're going to open up the entire trend to see how they are performing overall. So looking at the past 10 years trend, you can see that the trend is an upward trend, and specifically what we're trying to achieve is to see how much of a percentage they are in terms of the 2 bedrooms in the 4 districts. Let me just rename this so that we can use it for later on. So this is actually D12, 13, 14 and 20, and I just want to put a 2-bed here so that it's easier for us to recall later on. So now that we have the comparison in terms of the trend across the 4 districts for 2-bedroom, let us start putting in the trend for the 3-bedroom. So we're going to do the same thing. Alright, so here one of the interesting part is that you are not only just looking at the trend for here, because we are able to even pull out more detail in terms of the specific units in that districts, basing on the prices, the average per square foot, and even how old they are in terms of their TOP. So we're going to come back into this later on. But for this example, we're going to pull out the trend to see how a 2-bedroom and 3 bedrooms are going to compare to each other. Alright, so let us again rename this so it's easier for us to take a look. So we're going to do D12, 13, 14, 20, and this time around is a 3-bed. Voila. Alright, so the blue color lines justifies for the 2-bedroom comparison, and the 3-bed is the red color. So with this, let us just look at the last 10 years trend between the 2-bedroom in the 4 districts, and they are basically on an upward trend of about 57.17%, which is generally very comfortable. And let us take a look at the 3-bedroom trend accordingly. Wow, we're talking about a 64.15%. So this analysis actually guides us into choosing the specific type of properties if we are looking for a capital growth or even capital protection in the long run. So with a tool like this, you have access to data easily, and it also helps you to do a better in-depth research when you're coming to make any property decisions. An interesting question is raised by this notable increase in the value of larger units. Why has there been such a notable trend towards larger homes since the start of COVID-19? It is because housing preferences seems to have changed as a result of the pandemic, possibly as a result of a rise in demand for a larger living space. The demand for more space increased as people spend more time at home. This pattern emphasizes how real estate priorities are evolving while also highlighting the larger unit's potential future value. With these additional data points, we started the process of narrowing down our list of possible selections with a particular emphasis on 3-bedroom apartments that were either from resale or subsale. We go deeper now into the specific units. So just now you can see the example where we do the comparison between a 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom, and from the trends and the percentage of growth, you can see 3 bedrooms are actually performing much better in the last 10 years from 2014 to 2024. So in order for us to dive in deeper into selection of the specific properties, we are also coming back to ProTrend to start pulling out some of the very important data that we can actually see to help us make a better decision. So let me just show you that what we can do is we can actually return back to our search results. And besides just looking at the trend over a period of time, what we have installed is that we have the entire projects in this entire 4 areas. So this actually helps us when we are doing our in-depth research. We are able to pull out to look at what are each individual projects performing, as well as how they are comparing to each other. For example, here, if we are looking at properties that we want to buy that is slightly younger, we may want to actually start in terms of TOP to actually categorize them as a younger age. So of course, when a younger age property, it means your value protection is there and the potential upsides for capital growth is also much stronger. So we can actually analyze this to help us adjust what we are purchasing and to do some comparison. And with this data that we have, you can even go into the specific data and to look at what are the transactions that has been done, what are the properties that are profitable or unprofitable, and that also is what we are doing for research whenever we are helping you to find a selection unit. So let us just look at Jadescape as an example. So by clicking on Jadescape, we are able to have the full source of what is happening in this property from the data of the properties as well as the different transactions that has been currently updated live. So with this data, it also gives us a good idea about where the prices are going in that districts and to allow us to determine, are we actually overpaying in the resale or even sub-sale areas? So this actually gives us a very clear indication of what we are looking at to help us in a better decision making. As we dug deeper into our analysis, due to various constraints and financial limitations, District 20 was removed from our list of possibilities for A and B. As a result, District 12, 13 and 14 became our main areas of interest. Based on MRT distance, we found 8 River Suites in District 12, 13 to be a worthy choice. Though Park Colonial and Woodleigh residences are attractive because of their young age, the jump in the past 2 years has jumped out of the A and B's budget range, unfortunately. Are there also older developments around? Yes, but age is also a key indicator if you want protection of value in our property in the next 5 to 10 years. Several of the projects in District 14 that make our shortlist were the Sunny Spring, Trey Residences, Sims Urban Oasis and Penrose, all of which were priced in the 1.8 million range. When selecting a property, what particular features or amenities are most important to you? You may comment down below. We also quickly remove those older properties because the facilities and conditions are not what A and C can accept. We also remove those that are too noisy in order to shortlist a few crucial ones that we can run more research on. Trey Residences, as we carried out our search, despite having some nice features, Trey Residences was not large enough, being only 861 square feet. Now, this narrowed our options to 2 points of comparison, Sims Urban Oasis and Penrose. The prices per square foot for 3-bedroom sub-sale apartments at Penrose range from $2,000 to $2,200 per square foot. It is somehow more expensive, but keep in mind, that you're paying for a TOP property, younger age, which means better value protection and with the modern designs and the prospect of a brand new development. The catch is there's a little wait involved as Penrose is still under construction, but looking at its progress, the wait will not be too long. However, this might be a wise investment if you have patience. Now, on the other hand, Sims Urban Oasis are approximately 1,900 plus per square foot for 3-bedroom apartments. A bit more affordable, and the price gap to a new development is less than 15%. When you're buying into development and when comparing them, you also must check out how densely packed each development is. It's extremely crucial because the last thing you want to come back to a home is like a concrete jungle, and you coming back is like you never leave your office. Not a good feeling, right? And how do we check out each development's density? To give the couple a much proper breakdown, considerations were made. The total area of the land in Sims Urban Oasis is 23,900 square meters, and there's 1,024 units in total. That comes to roughly 23.34 square meter per unit of common area. Penrose, on the other hand, contains just 566 units, or roughly 28.27 square meters on a 16,255 square meters land. Penthouse did stand out with its newer construction and less crowded surroundings despite prices being higher compared to Sims Urban Oasis. What we went through with A and B is essentially identified from the REI method, the third stage of qualifying units, and be confident in the selections. It was a great journey to guide A and B through their first real estate purchase. We managed the complexity of the present real estate market by comprehending their needs, weighing out our options, and taking their personal preferences, financial, and directions into account. In the end, it was a win-win situation, because we were able to secure a unit for them. So always remember to do your homework, weigh your options, and consider the pros and cons when making decisions. For your own in-depth assessment, pause and scan the QR code here to get in touch with me to guide you safely in your property decisions. Do hit the notification bell for more updates, subscribe to our channel, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. Please leave any questions or comments in the comment section below, and I'll thank you for watching this, and I'll see you real soon.